LSD trip is a pilgrimage far out beyond your normal mind into that risky and revelatory territory which has been explored for thousands of years by mystics and visionary philosophers.
Well, I never think of when I'm 20 or when I'm 21. I think tomorrow. Or this minute. And hope there's tomorrow. Because I don't like what's going on in the world. I'm scared of that. More than drugs. I'm not afraid of Lily. I'm just scared, you know.
We are told that perhaps 1 million Americans, most of them young people, have made the LSD experience part of their lives. Is this a social menace and a cause for alarm? I don't think so. I see nothing less than the speedy evolution of a new indigenous religion.
I'm just scared, you know. Everybody is pretty uptight. I'm just scared, you know.
The LSD religionist knows that the temple of worship is the human body, that the shrine must be located not in a public place, but in the privacy of your own home, and that the congregation cannot extend beyond your family and your closest friends.
On the walls were dripping. You know, you could see the paint coming down like this, just like if somebody was hosing it off at the top and all the paint was running down to the floor. But it was so pretty. They were running. Just like they were melting. Yeah. It was groovy. so groovy, you can't believe how groovy. It wasn't just water hitting you, taking a shower, soak, and out you go, towel off. It was just, oh wow, it was like a caress, kind of, and you could really feel the hot and the cold. You could feel hot and cold, and each little drop that came out was a different one. It wasn't, I don't think the water must mix inside. It must come out hot and cold or something, because you could feel hot, cold all over you. It was really groovy. It was, I guess the word for it is essential. Your body just, it grew, It was really neat.
For psychedelics are stimulators of ideas and feelings. But generally, these ideas and feelings would express themselves constructively rather than violently or destructively. If it were possible during a riot to spray small doses of LSD from an helicopter into the air, people would soon quieten.
Is this really necessary? Is this really necessary? Is this really necessary? Is this really Is this really necessary? Is this really necessary? Is this trip really necessary?
Rather than violently or destructively. If it were possible during a riot to spray small doses of LSD from an helicopter into the air, people would soon quieten.
Is this trip really necessary? Is this trip really necessary? Is this trip really necessary? Is this really Is this trip really necessary? Is this trip really necessary? Necessary?